All right, guys. Making this video as I'm working. So here's that center plate I was talking about. I hammered it into place. You know, we got a little lip to weld to. We're going to have to weld on the inside. I hope my camera gets that because it's out of my reach. But got a little cleanup there to do. But as you can see, came out pretty nice. We're going to weld all the perimeters. We're going to weld the plate to here to down. And our bushing's going to drop right in the middle. Nice little sturdy piece. Not bad at all. And again, as I had mentioned, the whole reason for this cup being welded on the center one is because on this frame, the bushing is supposed to be, the bottom half of the bushing is supposed to be installed through the open channel of the frame. But since we can no longer do that, we got no way of getting it underneath because it's only like a 5/8 hole for a bolt. So obviously what I did is I added a sleeve and a washer welded to it. So all I got to do is just put the bolt in there, ready to rock. And then I'll show you. I was welding over here. I was welding on this, not on the wood. So I got these washers that I just got like a nice stitch on each side. And these are going to be for the bottom half of the bushing, as I mentioned before. Now that they're all welded up, it's easier to show. So that way we get more of a positive bite on the body bushing versus the soft and soggy one that would normally be there. And obviously here's this one all welded up. On the bottom I just did a couple of tacks as much as I could because keep in mind, this is really just acting as a big washer, so it just needs to stay there. It doesn't need to be as solid as this piece, so that's why you see some incomplete welds here. It's just enough to hold it. I welded as much as I could, but I didn't want to build up the edge because it has to drop into the frame. And ultimately this cup, you know, it's welded in there a lot nicer on the inside there. It's pretty much a glorified cupped washer to keep things nice and solid. So not really necessary to weld it entirely crazy here, but I mean, it would have been nice, but it would have been a lot more cleanup to make it fit into this hole, because keep in mind on this, I had to pound this in. You can see my rubber mallet here. I pounded that in, so it's a tight fit. I ground it to fit so it would fit nice and tight to maintain our center. So what I ended up doing was I centered these plates before anything was welded, and I kind of paid attention to the lip that overlapped and kept it as even as possible. I marked it with a marker, and then I ground it all back. And that's another reason why I couldn't just cut a box out. I had to keep it centered because keep in mind, these bushings have to be centered up to the frame. So that one's installed. Came out nice. I'm pretty happy with it. And from here, my work is pretty much done for the day. This actually didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was going to. Since yesterday was Valentine's Day and my wife and I didn't do anything tonight, we're going to do something. So I'm kind of done for the day out here. I'm going to wrap it up. And tomorrow, hopefully, I'll fill you guys in on the rest of the welding. And we'll do another video, sync it up with this one. And stay tuned. From here, we're going to end up buying paint to coat the frame, do a little bit of cleanup. We're going to do some brush paint, some undercoating. And by brush paint, I mean like some chassis saver and then just a nice coat of nice undercoating. And then the front half of the frame, where you do see we are going to paint, we're going to scuff it up and we're going to spray some paint on the firewall. We're going to get this thing all smoothed out. And that's the goal for the end of the month. So before I get too much into details, I'm going to cut out and sign off. I'll catch you guys tomorrow on the second half of this video. See you.
Oh yeah.
Ronnie James Dios Mio.
No.
I got that in here too, man. That was worth the laugh. Dude.
All right.
That opening smoking like something out of the Cypress Hill show, man.
Just like Cypress Hill. Dude, it's like a Cypress Hill concert in here right now, Ulysses.
It's all smoky and shit.
All right, here we go.
Whew.
Not bad.
Not bad. And then are you going to end up bridging over that hole?
I'm going to try. I just didn't want to go too crazy because it's...
No, yeah, you'll burn it through.
The frame is actually kind of thin right there.
No, it's thin there because they fucking cherried it with a rosebud to straighten it out. That whole area, dude. You go for it, man. I mean, don't go for it, but go for it. It'll turn out real nice. You got a little weld prep action going over there?
Huh?
You got a little weld prep action going on over there?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, you know what I noticed, bro?
What's that?
Do we need to take down the lip on that, or did that piece warp when I welded it?
What's that?
That plate, because you see the gap on that one side? Or are you just going to hammer it down once you get to that point? You want to tack the outside and then fucking hammer it down, or do we need to remove material off of it?
On this?
Hold on. I think one side's longer to twist it. Hammer it, turn it. Hold on, where's the ham horn? Try that out. Because I just noticed that.
Where at? Well, you probably want...
I just noticed it, and I didn't know if I didn't remove enough of the weld like I did on this side to get it flush. You know what I'm saying? So you see where the weld is up at the top of the frame?
Right here?
Right there. I think that's from when you welded it just now. We might have to knock that down so that we can get that plate as flat as possible.
I think we gotta just hammer it real quick, Ulysses. I think if I tack it
and drop it. Oh no, it's pretty flat there.
Yeah,
I think
not bad.
The only thing is that I was saying just turn it and you just got to take like 3/8 off of that bead. You know what I'm saying?
Right here?
Yeah.
This is already ground on the top.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe hit it a little more. Maybe just so we can lay it flatter. I didn't fucking realize that yesterday. I probably should have crawled in there when I ground that. But
Dude,
I do got
honestly,
some.
I think it will be all right once if I tack it and then
And
I
hammer it down.
Hammer it down.
All right, fuck it. We'll roll with that.
Yeah.
We'll call it good.
Come
then.
on over here, Ulysses. Give me an eyeball. If this is where you want.
No, it's centered in the hole, man.
Yeah.
Just fucking have at it.
I'm gonna weld one side and then I'll hammer this down. And
Yeah,
weld
I
the
think I
other
warped
side.
that one pretty good when I welded it.
It'll be fine, dude. Once you weld this on the inside.
I didn't realize that was ground. I didn't know how far up you welded when you did it. But no, looking at it from here, I actually can see that. So yeah, I think it's got the fucking flipped bill there.
It'll be fine.
Cool.
It'll be good.
All right, man. Welding is done. My buddy got done welding it all up. I'm sure you saw him welding. Say hi, Ryan.
Tapping.
So, that was my finger in that. My finger was in the way. Shit. But it's all welded up. Did an awesome job welding it. See the inside over there? We managed to get that side down. On the other little quick video, we had an issue where I had warped the plate. We found a little way to get that to stay using that mechanical bottle jack over there. Worked out good to push it down off of the body, just enough pressure. It's fucking done. From here we go on to cleaning and coating the frame as much as possible. We're going to put some paint on it, and then I think I'm just going to blast a little undercoating on there, a nice undercoating, as the frame is already like a semi-gloss black. The undercoating is just like a flat black. It's like a suede. And then the front half of the frame I'm going to coat as well, and the firewall, those are going to get painted though. So we're done. That's a wrap on the frame. That's one big item off the checklist. All right, guys, the last bit for today. It's Sunday. We went to the swap meet. We picked up some stuff. Eastwood usually is always at all the local swap meets, and they always have sales. I picked up some rust encapsulator, the platinum, which goes on any surface, direct to metal, rust, no rust. Their other material is designed to go over rust. The guy told me this is what you want if you got areas that you really don't want to clean up or get rust on. So our welding is done. My buddy helped me out. Obviously, I mentioned, I think in the other video, we got freebies. Got that. I got the posi unit here for the rear end. We're going to end up rebuilding the rear end that is in the car. It was a choice I had to make based off of use, cost, and what we got going on at the moment. So between the posi unit and it's a used GM 342 gear, between those two, I only have about $355. So that was cool, and my buddy put brand new bearings in there before he sold it to me. So I bought this off a friend. The guy actually who has built the rear ends for the olds. As you can see, we got a welding blanket. We didn't put the car outside today, so I protected it that way. And most importantly, my wife's going to kill me. I picked up a set of flat-faced slots. And by flat-faced, I mean their dish is minimal. These are my fronts. They got some curb rash, but we're going to repair this wheel. I used to do wheel repair at when I worked for Lexus. So I'm pretty familiar with working with aluminum wheels. And what I'm going to end up doing is taking this whole lip off. We're going to sand it real nice, keep it flat, and blast these and use them. It's a 14x7. I rounded 15s, but you know what? The 14s will work. It's a 14x6. I think I said 7, but it's a 6. I think I'm going to put a 205 75 14 in the front. It should still look nice and narrow. And I'm going to try to find some 15x8s with about 4 3/4 back spacing for the rear. And I think that's going to look sharp. I've been wanting to do the slots for a long time, but I'm very particular about how they look and how the look is going to be pulled off, because with the era of cars that ran the slots, it can be a double-edged sword. It can either look clownish wide. I want the race look, so I want the narrows in the front, which this wheel is a little bit wider than what I would normally want, but they actually are pretty light. Really nice. They're not much heavier than what's on there now. I mean, they're definitely heavier than my center lines, but they're going to be nice. And yeah, so pretty productive weekend. I'm really happy with the work. As always, Ryan knocked it out, and I'm excited from here. We're going to clean coat, get everything going. I mentioned in the other video, but I wanted to show you guys the goodies we picked up at the swap meet. Rule of thumb, never leave the swap meet without buying something, because that way you didn't waste your time, and it always brings you back. So I did manage to, those I bought literally as I was walking out. I'm not ashamed to tell you how much I paid for them. They say 30. I paid 30 for both. They were 30 a piece. I was walking away and the guy's friend shouted out that he would take 15. I'm like, if you take 15 a piece, I'll take them. And he said, fuck it. So I got those. So yeah, we're done for the week and work here. And really happy, really excited. From here, I think we're going to start moving fast. I have to go through my list of parts that I have to order for the engine. I have to start getting ready for that. And then I have to order up a set of seals for the transmission, which is over there. And from there, once the body's down, there's a couple of detail items I'm going to do. And we're not going to make the control arms for the car. Changed our mind. So what I'm going to do is I found a really cheap kit. Or my friend has a cheap kit off of like eBay. It's pretty heavy duty. It's got hemispherical like Heim joints on the front. So, because these arms naturally twist. I don't know how many people know that, but they do twist. So if you ever look at the way the bushings wear out on the upper control arms, they're always like oblonged. Those upper control arms twist. So that's why usually Heim ends are really good on that end of the control arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure our center to center on the arms. And then we're going to make a jig. And we're going to take these arms and see if we can manipulate the length on the arms themselves. So if we have to cut and lengthen or cut and shorten, it's fabrication 101. You sleeve, you weld, you're done. On the uppers, they're adjustable. So they collapse, they extend. If we need to modify the hex, then we do that. It's very similar to what I did with the olds. I didn't make a video about this, but the control arms that are underneath the olds, the uppers, my lighting really fucking sucks. I are from a G body. So I ended up buying some Heim joints because I had regular bushings in the top, but they were adjustable. I bought Heim joints from like Amazon, and since it had a deeper, where it bottomed out was deeper on the Heim joint, I was able to shorten the control arm because they were too long. Bottomed out, you only had 0 degrees of pinion angle. So keep in mind, when your pinion angle is at 0, under acceleration, it will pull up. So naturally, the pinion wants to go up. That's why you want to be down. Not only does that help, but you got to remember, under power, the pinion wants to straighten itself out, and you want it to be almost 0 under power. Or so I've read. I might have gotten that wrong. But, all right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Follow, share, like, subscribe. Tell your mom, tell your friends. We're doing some cool things here, and I'm really happy about the frame repair. This thing turned out awesome. We boxed it. We plated the outside. I made cups for the bushings, and dude, we're ready to rock and paint and get stuff going. And I may have a friend of mine come by and do some actual recording as we work, and we're gonna see how that goes. So I'm out of here. I got things to do.